to the Rainbow Six Siege ESL Premiership Finals, powered by Intel and brought to you by PlaySafeguard and AOC Gaming. And we've got a fantastic grand final coming up for you guys. Joining with me is Jess and Pyrite here. And guys, what we expected, but it should be a great series nonetheless.
Oh, goodness. Look, I am a little bit worried for Team Secret. I mean, after that matchup against Wind and Rain, there's obviously something going on that means they have their weaknesses. And I think if MnM are going to read into them and really pry them apart, they're going to be able to pull a lot of rounds against Team Secret and maybe even maps.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think if you look at MnM's performance from the first game, that really plays into that fact as well. They did a very good job of reading Vexed and of taking the chances when they were there, holding back when they weren't, and adapting the play style to what Vex was doing, and that's it. If they come out and do that against Secret, I think we're going to have a real match on our hands. But let's not sleep on Wind and Rain. They've had a couple of good results over the general season as well. They did have a little bit of a sticky patch in the middle, but you know, they're a good team. They're certainly no slouches. There's a few players in there that have been around the competitive scene for a long time, and it's not. I wasn't as surprised as maybe everybody that they really came out and gave Secret a game. I was glad to see that they did.
Yeah, same, you know, because sometimes it can go all one way. It can be a little bit of a slide, but this seems like a much better Wind and Rain, probably the best Wind and Rain we actually saw compared to what we saw in the previous season, in the previous weeks as well. But we do have the bracket for you guys, just to show you exactly what's happened from the start, from the semi-finals leading up to the finals. So of course, as you see there, we have MnM Gaming managed to take down Vexed, not too comfortably, but you know, to a certain degree there, 2-0. But Team Secret, you know, they had a bit of a problem in that first map. Second map, a bit more in a comfortable position here. But what we see now is the grand final, and we predicted it. We knew it was going to happen, but we finally get to see a great best of three between these two teams.
You know what? It's actually almost reminiscent of a few conversations I've had. If Team Secret don't pick up their Pro League prowess at the moment, then we might actually see this match in the future. And I don't want to say it foreshadows anything, and I don't want to say that we should be reading too much into it, because it is Prem, it is different, and Team Secret, of course, have their sub in. So
I mean, for the UK scene, I'd like to look at it from the flip side maybe and say we see this match because MnM get into Pro League. We'll keep Secret in there. Let's have two teams.
Yeah, you actually find that MnM are just saving their strats for that relegation phase instead of this, you know.
All about saving strats, Harry.
Yeah, it's all about saving strats. It's all about playing default and standard, but not. I don't think you should do it in the grand final here. But these two teams, you know, they've been smashing every team out of the park here. They've been very hard to drop maps, but speaking of dropping maps, it's like I mentioned before, right at the start, Team Secret haven't dropped a single map this season, last season, and they must be playing on MnM's mind just that little bit.
yeah, look, the one draw that they did have was against Team Secret, and it was on Oregon. So I'm keen to see the map vetoes. If Oregon's in,
it's something I was going to comment on as well. If you look back, Villa, Team Secret came out with a strong 7-3 win early in the season. But then again, the MnM roster did flex a little bit after that, so there could have potentially been some roster issues there that impacted on that as well. But yeah, I think you're right there. The map vetoes are going to be important. I'm sure we're going to see probably Consulate disappear. We know how good MnM are on there, but we could well see them getting rid of Villa because Secret did put in a good performance there. But I think that 6-0 on Oregon as the last week of the season is the best thing for us to look to as to how tight this fixture is going to be.
Yeah, if MnM don't ban Villa, let's be honest, we'll be a little bit shocked. Those two maps probably won't play a part, but what about the other maps? Do you reckon there's not just like a second and third best map, but what other maps do you reckon MnM could actually do well on against Secret? Is there anything that pops to your mind or from the top of your head?
look, I think Clubhouse would be a dangerous one to let go through for MnM. I don't think it would be something that would be a strength of Team Secret, especially against a team like MnM. Possibly depending on the op bans, because it's one of those maps where if you get certain op bans, it can really throw off your strategies, but I'm not entirely sure.
I think we'd like to see possibly Coastline make it in. MnM have done very well on there already today. We saw them making excellent use of the map control that they were gaining, and so I think, you know, pushing onto Coastline. Any roam heavy map, we've seen them again having a good roam game, but they need to be careful. If they're going to do that, they have to close down the roam game of Leon.
I think one thing to talk about as well with Team Secret, you know, we're talking about the sub, we're talking about Pledma, but we weren't really too sure in the previous weeks, but so far he's actually performed pretty well throughout the whole day.
He actually looked quite confident as well. It looked like it was something that he was gelling with. He knew what he was up to. We did say before that we were excited to see him sort of be in his own zone. Team Secret were happy him doing him, but I actually felt like he fit in that support role more, I guess, fluently than everyone else had expected. I didn't see him disjointed really at any point.
No, I think really what we're seeing there is the product of time. He's had more time to fit in with the team. He's just been used, week in, week out now in the Prem, I think for the last 4 weeks, or 3 weeks maybe. And yeah, he's just growing into the team. He's just finding his feet, he's finding his position, he knows what's expected of him, and also the other players are getting used to where is Pledma going to be, what is Pledma likely to do, and the more time that they have to do that, which obviously they're running very short of today, being as they're coming into the last match. But yeah, it's no surprise to see that Pledma really has grown into his role, and I think, yeah, he's done very well so far.
Yeah, we spoke about it in the last series as well. It's great to have, even if you've got a sub in, to be told you can do whatever you feel like. You've got the freedom to do anything you like, will work around you in any way, shape or form. And I've seen it in plenty of teams. I've been in that position myself where when you actually do join a new team, you've got to really keep up with all the strategies, the tactics, operators they actually use. And it's, quite a lot of information to take in, but the fact that you can just do whatever you like and they'll work around you, I think we would have seen a different Pledma if we actually saw him actually going through what we do with the actual other replacement.
Look, he was only added to the roster, and forgive me if I'm wrong, I believe on about the 20th of February. So that was really, really shortly ago. And when you get someone in a roster and you just expect them to just click straight in and they're a sub out of all things. So I think that's a lot to ask of him. And for him to just come in and go, yep, no problems, easy done. I'll do the support role, I'll do the flex role, whatever you need. He's really fit well into that role.
And what other ways do you reckon he's been able to fit in? Because it was weird because during the first few weeks of the Prem, we weren't really too sure what he was going to be like. There was sometimes he impressed us, sometimes he hasn't, but I just find it quite funny that the one time he's been super consistent, showing that high caliber play, and it's actually here today compared to online. Maybe it's just one of those offline kings.
Yeah, I think the maps that we've seen Pledma excel on, where he's come out with a positive KD, have generally been roam-heavy maps. We've seen him do very well on Bank, we've seen him do very well on Consulate, and so I think whether that's maybe just because the rest of Secret, we know they've got good roamers, we know that Leon's dangerous out there, we know you have to watch for LMs, so that's then taking a lot of focus away, and it's maybe just allowing Pledma to play his game a little bit more without too much direct pressure on him, where you're on a site where you're having to hold objectives primarily and really focus on the objective rather than having a strong roam game like that. That might be a bit more difficult for him because you're under the spotlight a little bit more. So I think if Secret can push for maps like that, they're probably going to get the best out of Pledma.
Now the big question is, with MnM Gaming, this roster is a lot stronger compared to last season. And of course, this season with Team Secret, slightly different lineup in comparison, just about one player. But is this MnM's best opportunity to take him down here today?
Look, they've added Doki, they've added Kendruth, and they've added Saves. Now, if I had to pick 3 people from other teams, I would have added to an MnM roster. It would have been every single one of them. And Doki's been an unstoppable force. I mean, obviously we don't want to overvalue fragging because there are more roles than just that, but it's unstoppable to think that you might go against Doki and he might outpeak you well before you've even seen him. So I think he's a very, very dangerous character, and if he has a drone in front of him, it's absolutely terrifying. So I hope that's how they play that today.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's something that Secret are going to have to pay attention to. Like you say, you can't overvalue fragging, but you certainly can't ignore it either. And I think, I'm doing some quick maths now, I think leading in today...
That's a bit worrying.
Leading into today, I'm pretty sure Doki was the leading killer up to that point for the Prem. And I think even with today's, I know Citizen's absolutely gone off a little bit, and he's certainly caught him up, but I don't think he's done quite enough just to surpass him yet. So that is definitely something that Secret are going to have to pay attention to. Let's not sleep on Kendra either. Very good player, a lot of experience, and he's been playing very well today. He's been hitting his shots. We've seen, just from memory, that reverse shot that he hit down on the bottom floor, and that was a real pixel peak in the Lockers objective. So yeah, I think they've definitely got some players to pay attention to there of Secret.
Well, I won't worry about your maths. My maths off the desk is amazing. On the desk, it's straight down the toilet. It's absolutely horrendous. And you saw there with the players to watch is Citizen and Leon. Not too much of a surprise there. Why do you think these 2 players are the ones to watch throughout this series?
I mean,
I even need to question that.
honestly, if anyone's been watching Citizen for the past, what's it been, 2-3 hours thus far, you already know why he's a force to be reckoned with. Like, again, the fragging potential coming out from him, but it's not just the frags. What makes Citizen special is the fact that he has intel when he does it, and he knows exactly when to strike, and he knows how to pre-fire, and it's a dangerous player that has intel in their hands, and him on Valk is absolutely terrifying. So I think that's been his strength, and I think that's something, if they don't ban that, for example, that might be very dangerous going against Team Secret.
The other danger with Citizen is, for a fragger, he doesn't die.
He's just one of those guys.
Bit of a pain, you know. If you look by contrast, you look at one of the top fraggers on Secret, we've already mentioned Leon. Over the season, they played a similar number of rounds, I think 1 round different. Leon had died 50 plus times, Citizen's down at 39. And that just goes to, that is a lot of rounds. That's 2 full maps of rounds practically, where Citizen has kept himself alive, kept himself in the game. And I know from watching MnM's games, it is not uncommon for Citizen to be that last man standing, and he'll get the clutch for you. He'll do the job, because on the flip side of that, he's getting the kills. And I think there's only Nello on the team that's actually died less than him, but we know that's just down to Nello staying in sight. His prowess on sight is, unquestioned really. So
yeah, even in the first week of the Prem, all those months ago, back in February, we knew there was something special, even though they were playing against like Flylo and who knows, those kind of teams. Doki, Citizen, they were getting aces left, right and centre. It was literally every map was their playground. It just seemed like the chemistry was just there, and it just seemed like it was a great thing to see, and that's when we saw the potential coming out of them, their fourth leading up to today.
Look, honestly, the thing about Citizen, I think, as well, is that, and my stats aren't with me right now, but I know this for a fact, is if we line him up against Leon Gids, for example, he has played less rounds than Leon Gids in total, but he has over 12 more kills than Leon Gids, and he has far less deaths, making his KDA far more superior than Leon Gids, who I would rank as probably a very, very superior fragger, even in Pro League. So that's a scary thing to think that there is another player out there who well outdoes the master of Leon Gids.
the thing is, we've got to look across the Secret roster as well. When we look at the Premiership specifically, we've also got a couple of players. We've got Alems, we've got Mipe, who are on the same or more kills.
And we do have the map vetoes for you, so finally we'll get to see exactly what they'll be playing in the best of 3 now. Let's find out what's going on. So Border and Bank and then Clubhouse. Is that a little bit of a surprise for you guys? And I know why you seem a bit confused, Jess.
Sorry, the double Villa ban there. Just catching my eye, of course.
No Villa at all.
No, double Villa out of there.
Definitely no Villa.
Yeah, no triple Villa, it's fine.
Look, that Border pick, that's terribly uncomfortable for Team Secret.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely.
Oregon.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why MnM picked it first. I would have probably taken it as like sort of the decider map going in. Clubhouse would have been the better first pick, to be honest. I'm glad it's in there. But I'm looking at these 3 maps and going Border, Bank, Clubhouse, and I think there's only one map that favours Team Secret, let's be honest.
Yeah, I think so. As we've said, the potential for the roam game on Bank could well be something that MnM can really take advantage of. They've also been taking excellent control of maps and areas today as well. They've been focused on the 2 or 3 rooms they need. They've gone in, they've cleared them out, they've got control very well. So that's something that Secret's going to have to disrupt if they want to get anything done on Bank. And as you say, Jess, Border, I think could be a dangerous one for Secret.
And you did actually mention, Jess, that Clubhouse could be a bit of a weird one. So if it goes to map 3, things could get a little bit spicy here.
Honestly, I really think that's a danger to have that as the decider, because unless Team Secret has something in their pocket, I'm scared for them. If it does go to a 3rd map, I think it's going to go very, very far throughout those rounds, and we're going to see it very tight. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, following on from the last fixture that we saw these 2 playing, where it was 6-0 on Oregon, I think we're going to have an absolutely fantastic fixture. They're both well up for it. They've both been getting kills, and I think they're really going to go at each other.
Yeah, it should be a very close one to say the least. And, all these KDs always in bits and pieces. And, it's going to be a real struggle here because, we know with MnM, it depends on their mentality if they lose that first map. But if they win the first map, there's that potential to take it all the way. We've seen some weird things in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. If it does go all the way, I wouldn't be surprised if MnM take it. Otherwise, Team Secret, if they win the first map, I have the confidence they'll win the second, obviously being Bank. But if they lose the first map, then...
The Siege fan in me just desperately wants to see that 3rd map. I really want to see this go all the way. I don't want to put a curse on it for the players, but maybe an overtime in there as well. Let's have a really close, entertaining game.
That's right. Well, the game's about to get underway between MnM Gaming versus Team Secret, your grand final with your casters. And Demo, what time is it?
It's siege time! Let's get into our grand final of the ESL Premiership Rainbow Six season number 3. And let's kick things off on Border Ollie as we head into our bans.
Thank you very much for that demo. I know it's been highly anticipated and requested from a lot of people. I think everybody loves a good bit of siege time. And what a day of siege we've had so far today, and the final is shaping up to be just as entertaining. Moving in, we're going to be looking at Border as our first map. A couple of bans have already gone underway. We're going to be losing the Hibana, Maverick, and then the 2 pretty standard bans for the defenders in Miro and Maestro.
The male version of Miro.
I think that's like a combination of the 2. Imagine how powerful that operator would be.
That's one thing I learned in Spanish class was female ends in A and then male ends in O.
Wow.
Interesting facts. Fun facts. Let's move in as we go to our Armory Lockers, and Archives is going to be our first defense. So generally for Border, I think it fits under the same principle of Oregon, where I believe it's very linear in how bomb sites are being played and how it's being taken. There is arguably that case about Customs and that Bathroom and Tellers are not strong bomb sites whatsoever, so if you do manage to successfully defend 2 in a row, you will have to go for a 3rd pick bomb site, and those 3 bomb sites do have some glaring weaknesses with them. I think that the whole one way, you can only attack it, you can only defend it in one area, for example Bathroom and Tellers, you literally have to put all of your eggs upstairs inside of Office. But, quite curious for me, I'm just going to stop my point because look at that mug.
Our wonderful observer Alex there, getting a good bit of screen time, and it's very well deserved. He does put a lot of work in on these days, constantly observing all of the games, so thank you very much to Alex. I think it's fair to say.
Don't give him credit. He just observes. Sure, anyone can do it. As he glances at me in absolute disgust.
So we're going to be looking at an Armory and Archives first defensive objective for Team Secret. Very standard, nothing too out of the ordinary. It is one of the bomb sites that you would expect to pick. As you were very rightly saying, Demo, difficult bomb sites on Border, usually only 2 that are very viable, and the other 2 in Customs and Bathroom do have obvious weaknesses, and as you say, if you win 2 in a row, it can be difficult. You are forced off to an off-pick bomb site, and that really comes into your adaptation and whether you've got something that you're going to try and do to be able to win that round, because you're going to look to chain rounds together on the defense, and it's going to be a very important part. Early kill coming through there for Doki, taking out Lems. Valkyrie no longer a factor. I'm not sure if she got all her evil eyes out either, purely because it is 30 seconds into the round, or black eye camera should I say.
So this map in Border, you would like to favor MnM. We know they have a great track record. I would probably fully 100% agree this is an MnM map all day long, but they played against Team Vitality inside of Challenge League on Border. Casting that game, I thought, oh, this is a sure win for MnM. This is one of their strongest maps. But no, we've seen weaknesses inside of that MnM attacks and defenses on side of Border. So there is possibly something that could throw MnM off a little bit. The last time they played this, it wasn't too strong. So certainly there is glaring weaknesses that maybe Secret can try and use and abuse. I think that the Bathroom and Tellers defense and attacks for MnM have been very weak. So there is things that they could have improved on since then. Hopefully they have improved on since then. But Secret, they have some, VODs to review. They play it every week, and so do Secret. So both of these teams have a lot of information to be gathered from one another.
Nello there going to come in with a kill for Stiz. Secret yet to respond with a kill of their own, so MnM are going to be sitting pretty with a 5-man versus 3. Meepy also very lit indeed, as I think the frag grenade comes through as the bandit trick was attempted. Nello now going to aggressively push through into sight, and he finds one. Can he find another? He's already taken out Pleb, but he finds the head of Meepy as Meepy gets a bit over aggressive and starts peeking out of small office. The diffuser is going down. Doki will clean things up with a headshot of his own. First round going to MnM.
Flawless first round take for MnM. That is as principle as you like it. By the book. That is what they followed in. Mostly for Border, a big thing is about that destructibility. It's a very destructible map, not just in terms of the walls that you have, but also the flooring. There's nearly every single room has some kind of destructibility. Even those main red corridors, they're sledgeable. There's a lot of stuff that defense can really play off. I think C4s from below are a massive thing, and that's why I think MnM fit really well, because they have such a strong player in Citizen. I'm surprised that Secret haven't decided to target ban a player like Citizen. We know he is arguably the best player inside of Premiership right now, if the stats don't lie. He's a player who plays Valk, he plays Pulse. Typically, if one gets banned, he rotates to the other. Valkyrie certainly, I believe, is his strongest operator he has at his capability, because Valkyrie gains just a little bit more intel because you can throw the cameras outside, gain early intel, which is an important thing. You can see where the attack is starting to form from, and then you can rotate your players and positioning. The only map I think that really Pulse also excels in, along with Valkyrie, they're around the same, would be a map like Consulate, where Pulse can gain that early intel. Simply because it's such a small map. For Border, it's quite a big map. You know, it's a medium-sized to large map. There's a lot of twisting corridors that makes it so you cannot rotate as easily as a Pulse going below. So there is upsides and downsides for some of the Pulse plays. So that's why Valkyrie kind of fits into that better.
It's like you say, the remote information gathering potential of Valkyrie can be very, you know, off-site, and you don't actually have to be where the push is coming through from, and that just gives you that element of safety, and you're able to perform your job, get the information, and then act upon it, as opposed to being the Pulse, where you do tend to put yourself in the line of fire. MnM having a very successful round number 1. I'm sure that they're going to look to repeat that here on round number 2, and we are seeing a slightly different hold this time coming through from Secret. We've got Leon playing over inside of CCTV with the Lems, and they're no doubt going to try and keep control of the wall a little bit more and for a little bit longer, but they're not going to be able to do that for long, because Doki is going to get another kill. He's on an absolute tear. I think he's got 3 kills already, and MnM still going flawless to this point.
MnM starting to make their beachhead. They will start to work on up over towards that west balcony, and they will be looking for pretty much the exact same take they went for last time. There has been a bit of resistance from the Secret players, but they have been dispatched with quickly as Citizen walks in, gets a clean double kill, and will take full control of that security. Citizen, another one for him, and it came all crashing down within the space of a minute for Team Secret. It's down to Pleb at a 1 versus 5. Sure, he may be able to get some impactless kills at the least, but will he even get any? That's the real question. No, Doki sweeps in. My, oh my, what a dominant fashion from the Marshmallows.
It's not often that you see a flawless round executed on Attack on Border. But
Two
when you see
flawless rounds.
2 flawless rounds back to back, that's just not something that you're going to see every day. MnM, they're sprinting out of the gate at this point. They've had quite a long break in between their first game and this one, as Team Secret were, of course, playing Wind and Rain. So they're very well rested, obviously. They've got themselves composed mentally. Secret, they're coming in off a win, so they should be feeling pretty good about themselves. These guys should be pretty warm, and I think I wasn't expecting this, I don't think. To see 2 flawless rounds in a row and the attacks going so convincingly toward the side of MnM is a little bit of a surprise.
MnM are terrifying whenever they have momentum. They are so dominant. I've seen them pull back hefty defeats. I've seen them go on a map like Border. I'm pretty sure I've watched them where they were 5-1 down in the first half, then they split, then they pull it back and win 7-5. That's the stuff that MnM are made of. That's what they can do. Genetically, if you look at the kind of format that MnM have, they still stick to that main core. They have Kendrew and they have Nello playing that support. Their droning has been very strong. That's what they're known for. Sure, that CL on Monday, their droning was very weak. That's what they kind of put their draws to, was very sloppy droning. And then you have that combo of Doki and Saves being that main pushing force, and then Citizen playing as that lone attacker. He sits out in the back, he looks for an opening. Once he sees it, he takes full advantage of that, and that's a perfect example. Walks down main corridor, peeks in, kills 2 in security.
Yeah, really proving himself as a powerful fragger indeed, and on an arguably a bit more of a support slash flex role, being on the Zephyr. Will they able to get 3 rounds on the bounce flawless? We will have to see in this round. I'm sure the Secret are going to have other ideas. We're seeing Leon picking the Pulse. This is something that you commented on, Demo. It does have a lot of use on this bomb site. If you can get yourself safe in Bathroom Tellers area or even in the site itself, you can gather a lot of information as to how the push is coming through. Not really much need to do a top floor roam clear here, and I think that's the drone work that MnM are currently doing. You can see Citizen, Doki and Saves all in their drone getting as much information as they can. They don't need to bother taking top floor control. Sure, they can open up some of the floor with the sledge, but the push is going to come through detention as Doki has been breached in there by Kendrew, and it looks like the pressure is going to be mainly on the ground floor, but we're going to have to keep an eye on the rotates. Citizen, another great entry kill there onto a Lems.
Punch hole does the job for Citizen, however, Meatly responds with a kill onto his own, onto Saves, and Still, Saves has been that replacement for Funkers, who now plays for Secret. That's another reason why the rivalry between both of these UK teams have been so hotly contested. Doki pushes in towards Customs and finds Pledma. That's the Echo who's playing offsite instead of Customs, an unusual position to say the least. That does not work out for Secret, but as long as he has those Echo drones placed like a Valkyrie camera, they are still in use. It's not as bad as if it's a Maestro camera where he may not have turned those Maestro cameras in a correct position and they're literally null and void, they cannot do anything. So MnM are looking strong. Kendra will start to go for the breach in towards that quite unusual single reinforced wall. That's never really see that Thermite charge being opened in towards that, so they have decided to take that approach and have used a bit of utility to get themselves in there.
And it can give a bit of a line of sight for the defenders as well. If anyone does decide to rotate down main stairs, they're going to have a clear line of sight to anybody that is playing in that small room. Meepy is going to grab one onto Citizen, so the kills are starting to trickle through for Team Secret. 3 versus 3 with a minute left on the clock. This is looking pretty good for Secret. It's the best round, the best position that they've been in so far. Nitro's going to be used to open up the floor to give him sight onto the objective. He's going to find Meepy, traded straight back out by Kendru. 2 versus 2 now. No, Leon's got something to say about it. Leon is waking up. Nello has got himself into a 1 versus 1. The remaining defender is upstairs. Meepy over in Armory is going to look to push down those main stairs, as Nello is almost certainly going to have to try and find this kill if he is going to look to take this round.
Options here for Nello is that he tries to go in towards the A bomb site and go for the plant, or he challenges for the kills. Maybe he has that intel being provided by those Valkyrie cameras and Echo drones alike. This should be an easy cleanup for Meepy. Knows the plant. Nello comes off it, and well, Meepy takes full advantage of that. The MPX does the job, lands the headshot, and well, Team Secret, they manage to pull on through. Meepy has really stepped up this LAN event. I think looking back at the previous matchup between Wind and Rain, he's just become revitalized. That fragger that we never really knew from Meepy is finally letting it be released.
We saw him play a lot of Ash against Wind and Rain, especially on Oregon. He did a very good job of it as well. You can see there he's sitting on 4 and 2, so getting his fair share of, well, the lion's share, I guess, of the kills on the side of Secret currently. Not as a convincing win as the previous 2 rounds for MnM, but a win nonetheless for Team Secret, and it's something that they're going to desperately need. You don't really want to go too many rounds down. A lot of the games today we've seen have been very, very close, and you know, once you start getting that big scoreline and then the side switch, like you say, very, you know, good teams are going to be able to get a mental switch off at that point, and they're going to be able to say, right, we've had our first phase, we're now going to reset into our second phase, and we're going to treat it like a new match, and we've just got to win the rounds from this point onwards. Secret don't want to have to put themselves in that position. They do need to start picking up some rounds on defense, because border is very defensible.
So they head back up to the Armory, and the thing about this particular defense is that Secret, yes, they started off with just their average defense. MnM swept through that. Secret then tried to put a bit of an opposition in towards security, swept through that. This is the moment where I believe Secret then want to try and play from below. They want to try and play for the C4s. I would have loved to have seen both Pulse and Valkyrie. You could maybe try and go for a bit of a bait and switch, because straight away, if MnM see Pulse and Valkyrie, you're automatically expecting, oh, C4s from below, let's take that first. You could play one person inside of Vent and one person inside of Customs. You could play Pulse inside of Customs. Not only does he give intel for people over towards the West Balcony, he himself could potentially get a C4 kill, because really the drones, they're not going to be looking at Customs for him. They're going to be looking for the Valkyrie inside of Vents.
You're right, and especially when you're going to be bringing an operator like Ella. Ella has some value, but maybe not as much value as a pulse scanner would do in that scenario, and it would be a good little duo to work downstairs.
Oh!
What about this run out? Nello's going to grab one, but Alem's going to reply with 2 of his own. Aggressive Valkyrie cameras there. That's exactly what Team Secret need at this moment in time. That's really going to spur them on in this round. A double kill on the run out for the Valkyrie is going to do all it needs. Steers getting pressured from below in on the site. That call will no doubt go down to 11, but I think he's still playing down by that main stairs area, and I'm sure the kills aren't over for him yet. BP with the pre-fire shots coming through onto Armory door, as I think it's Kendru that's going to be looking to pressure onto that. He's not going to be in a position to be able to open the walls. He's not really got the support that he needs from Doki or Saves to get that open, and at this point Secret have just got to bide the time and hold these angles.
So that is the 2 majority fraggers gone from MnM. That's Doki, that's Saves. That's the nades gone, more importantly, so potentially the bandit trick could be stuck by Meepy. They have options. They could stick Citizen below and try and stop that bandit trick from there. Nello will try his best to fight against the Valkyrie, as he will have some support from Citizen also. But playing it well, Alems falls back. He knows that there could be some holes being made for himself. You know, simple enough, we could see Stiz with a shotgun, Kraylan slide into a doorway. That means he cannot be pushed from below no longer. Kendrew trying his best to work by himself to open up in towards that wall. And with no bandit charges, this should be pretty free, but I think he's kind of expecting potentially maybe to be lying in the corner right beside the wall.
Half wall's a very difficult place to try and root a defender out if you've not got any utility to do so. Thermite isn't going to have the ability to be able to do that. He's just going to have to try and get a peek over onto Meepy, but Meepy's not going to be looking to expose himself all too much. I don't think he has got an ADS down there, but it isn't going to matter unless we do get Citizen up with the lifeline, and that's, I think, exactly where the rotation is coming through now. The wall will be getting open. Meepy now knows this. Kendrew looking to push in. All MnM's guns are pointing towards the armory, and they need to figure out what they're going to do in this final 35 seconds. They need to get a couple of kills if they're going to look to try and win this round or get the plant off.
Maybe still playing behind a half wall, does not have a nitro cell that could have been quite potent against the MnM lineup. And well, there goes the Sophia charge. Will find Maybe and Stiz. This is his element. This is where he clutches up. He did it last season. Can he do it again? Plebman will find Nello. Stiz tries to peek on round with a shotgun. He will see one, misses the shots. However, it will be a 1 versus 1 as Kendrew and Citizen got kills before they were finished off. And well, Kendrew with a pistol swings on round, finds Stiz. And Team Secret wondering what went wrong.
You don't see Stiz losing too many of those. Usually if he's got the shotgun in that final few seconds, your money is going to be on Stiz in that situation. For Kendrew to be able to wide peek the corner like that and get the kill with the pistol, very, very good game sense there indeed. He knew exactly what he needed to be done, and he managed to hit his shots. But it wasn't as clear cut as the first couple of rounds. Secret are now adapting to this aggressive MnM playstyle and the way that they're looking to try and take control of these sites, and they are responding with it. Coming down to a 1v1, you can't rely on that every single time, and MnM are going to have to look to their own adaptation and how they can do a little bit better on their attacks as this game develops.
I'm starting to worry about Saves. He's a player who came in filling that role of Funkers. We knew him from the Polish team Pact along with Kendrew back in last season of Challenge League. Saves was a top-notch player. We've seen him at DreamHack Winter. He played excellent against their match whenever they played the stream. There is elements that Saves that did make him look like a pretty tasty snack for the MnM lineup. And at the moment in this LAN, and also I think over the past couple of weeks, his performance has kind of deteriorated a bit.
It's very difficult to get onto a player when they're moving into a pre-existing lineup such as MnM, who are very set in the roles and how they play.
But it's been 2 months.
It has been 2 months, but this kind of synergy can take a long time to develop. And you know, he's got a pretty poor KD average there from someone that you're going to be looking to, you know, be able to get these kills. Is it a case that there's not enough kills for him to go around because we've got players like Citizen who are, you know, dropping bombs every single time? We've got Doki who's doing a great job in the frag department. Or do they need more of a supporting role? Is Saves better placed on more of a flex/support role?
If that's the point you're making, then that means he should have 0 deaths. If he's not getting kills, then he's fighting nobody. He is clearly getting inside of these gunfights and he's losing them. That's the big thing. He's playing a free speed. You know, we know him as being an Ashe player, as a Twitch player. Those high rate caliber guns that are there to kill. He's not doing that at the moment, so really, hopefully he tries to pick it up. But if he starts lacking behind, there is only so much that Doki, Kendrew, Nello, and Citizen can do.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be all about how he you know, fits into the roster in the future and how they're able to make these adjustments. And I'm sure that we will see those come as you know, in due time. You can see ADS is being burnt there. Doki now getting ready with the frag grenade to try and remove Bandit from his perch, but I think Bandit will be still tricking, feeling pretty safe about himself there. Doki going to aggressively peek in, but just bottle it at the last second. It has been enough to push Bandit off the wall, however, and it will allow Kendrew to be able to get the exothermic charge off.
Doki will take advantage of that as Maybe tried to jump for cover, but unfortunately Doki is there with the kill. Kendrew, he's opened up the wall. This is a lot better than what we've seen previously from MnM. This is very quick, very snappy. They haven't lost anybody as of yet, and this is where the snowball starts coming in effect. Whenever MnM managed to get those first kills on the board, they just managed to run away with the round. So it is for Secret. First F, you lose the round kind of scenario, which is what they do not want to be falling into that trap off. So a minute 15 to go. There's still options here for MnM, but Nello, he will start killing himself onto Leon Gids and maybe looking for another one as he also manages to find another one. Stiz, I almost thought he had a Plebma, but no, saved, gets his first kill of the match. And MnM 4 rounds to 1 as we head into our last round of the half.
Another flawless round coming out for Secret, attacking there onto Armory. They're really sending a very firm message here about how powerful and how confident they are on that bomb site on Border.
We have seen 4 Armories, and we have seen 4 Armory attack wins. That's very unusual. Typically for Border, it's kind of 50-50. It's very back and forth in terms of the attackers and defenders. Armory has been a bomb site which has been very strong for a lot of defenders because there's a lot of bottlenecks, a lot of choke points where players such as Stiz on the smoke can really excel. C4s can get double kills now and again. We've seen this plenty of times. Peculiar.
Very peculiar indeed, and for 3 of those rounds to be flawless, it just tells me that Secret aren't putting themselves in the position to be able to win the gunfights. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if they're not, not quite getting gelling together, or they're not quite working as a team, or the call-outs are a little bit confused. But there's just been no trading of kills. Hardly any kills have been traded at all, and that's just not something that you can be doing at this sort of level. You need to be trading out your kills. You need to be putting yourself in a position that if your roamer or someone that you're playing next to is going to get killed, you're in a position to move on and get that as a trade to keep that man count equal. Because how many times have we seen so far MnM getting that early pick that goes untraded, getting another pick, getting that man advantage, maybe lose one guy, and then all of a sudden 5v1, 4v2, it writes itself. Secret are struggling at the moment, and I think if I was them, I'd be really worrying, because the way that we saw MnM playing on Bank earlier today, they played it very, very well indeed, against a very good team as well.
Can we just see the scoreboard real quick, just so we can see the difference in terms of kills? Hopefully Alex doesn't ignore me. Seems to be he is. Not impressed. And this is why we don't say nice things, finally. And as you can see, there is only, what, 9 kills on the board for Secret compared to, what's that, 21, 24 kills on the side of MnM? That's a big difference.
Yeah, you really need to start winning your gunfights and, getting some kills. And especially the amount of C4s that Team Secret have been bringing. They've just not been in a position to even utilise those at all. Moving into round number 6 now, however, it will be the last round as the sides currently sit. We will then, of course, change over, and Secret will show us what they've got on attack. And, maybe it's just going to be that Border is going to be an attacker-sided map today. Saves finding that cheeky pre-placed Nitro cell there. I imagine that there's probably a black eye camera somewhere inside of Office that the Secret were maybe looking to use as information to detonate that at the right moment. But IQ doing the business, and another nice pop-up for Alex. I don't think we can give him ever give him too many. As we say that, Leon moves through and picks up a double. Leon really looking to ramp it up now and to make a stamp for his team. He doesn't want to come out of his first defensive phase 6-1. They're really going to be looking to pick up this round now. Goes for a run out, doesn't realise just how close he is to the guy at the top of Eastairs. Kendrew and Meepy getting kills for their respective teams. Leon is going to peek out and find that final kill onto Citizen.
There is one saving grace for Secret, and this has been the saving grace for a long, long time. Ever since this roster was formed almost a year ago, has always been this one man, and that has been Leon Gids. If anyone's going to be able to pull this back and carry his team, it will be that man. So we head into our next half, and MnM, they have the lead 4 rounds to 2. So MnM, they will have their go on their defense, and this is where I expect Citizen to really be in his element. Even though, yes, he's good in Sophia, I think defense is where he excels.
They're certainly going to be looking to Citizen to continue his form and to keep up with the kills that he's been able to get. As, I think they're going to need to do something now, and if they're going to be able to win this map, they need to be able to get a couple of early rounds now, because as we've said, they're a very momentum-based team. To lose the last round of their attacking phase before they switch over, I don't think it's going to affect them all too much. We've talked, good teams are very capable of making that mental separation and switching off and saying, right, the previous rounds are done, the attacking phase is over, now we're on defense, we need to treat this like a new start, and we need to keep winning rounds from here on in. But Secret, it's going to have given them all the momentum that they needed, and now you've got a pretty terrifying prospect if you are one of the MnM players, because you're looking at Leon Gids on Ash.
I think this is where Leon has started to say, yes, Meepy, you played some Ash earlier. This is the big match. This is the big game. This is where you give it to me and my haircut. So we move in, and more or less, MnM, they went for a very default setup. They have the extension into Office, where they have the triple wall. Some teams do it, some teams don't. If Mira is available inside of Border, which is very unlikely, then we typically only see that fountain being held, triple wall being left open for Mira to play aggressive with. That's the bog standard play. I'd imagine that MnM are looking to go for those late rotates. They have a C4 on the side of Kendry, and that's one thing about MnM and Border. I see them flexing each other's operators quite heavily. Typically, if we didn't see Maestro being banned away, we would more than likely see Doki and Kendry switching that Maestro role this time. It's going to be Kendry and Citizen probably switching those Valkyrie roles around, and well, Doki, he's been promoted to Doc, which is his signature operator, even though he doesn't get many kills, usually many deaths, but not many kills.
Plebma just going to be looking onto the west balcony window now, as Citizen is doing a good job of eating up quite a bit of time, but as soon as Capital moves into the fray, it's going to be very difficult for him to bandit trick indeed. Citizen preoccupied by checking the downstairs angle, and the wall is going to be allowed to be opened. It's going to force all the players of MnM to rotate out of that area of the site, and it's going to allow Secret free reign if they do want to look on in. We've seen how powerful these angles can be working inside of the site from outside, especially if nobody is located behind half wall. It's a very difficult angle to challenge onto as a defender, and Citizen proving me wrong, finding the kill over onto Alems as he peeks out and wide peeks that angle, and Plebma now ready to fill Alem's shoes and just try and push in himself and see if he can fare any better.
MnM holding strong. They have an ACOG on Doki, so certainly he can try and challenge some of these attackers. But really for Secret, it's about starting to bait out some of the utility that MnM still have. Nello has already used a Toxic Babe, and certainly they want to try and get more of those, but they may be looking for the quick plant. Maybe using those Capitoy balls will rush in. He sees 2 of them, but doesn't even find one, and it's a slaughterhouse for MnM. They pick up 4 members of Secret, and what a quick ending to that round. And MnM, they take their first defense.
Very impressive flurry of kills coming through at the end there, but a second or two before that happened, something really important happened, I think. Three of the 4 Secret players were on the west balcony looking to push through. The Thatcher grenade came through, the smoke grenade came through, and they pushed through. Leon Gids on Ash was on the roam, and Saves was able to pick up that kill. That will have been absolutely huge, because if Leon gets that kill and is allowed to come in as a flank onto those remaining defenders of MnM that are so heavily focused on the push that's coming through from Armory Wall, it could have been a very different round indeed.
MnM gonna be picking up quite an interesting operator. We're seeing Clash chosen for Events Room and Workshop. I'm curious to see how they're gonna be positioning this Clash, because it's not an operator that we ever really see on this particular map.
It's a pocket strat, you know. It's something that you've worked up, and you're going to say, right, we're going to play Clash in this very particular scenario, and we're going to look to try and work around it and get some kills based off that. Given Kendry's form today, I'd rather see him on a gun, because he's done some great work getting the frags when he has needed to. So I don't know if the Clash is the right choice in this scenario. All depends on how MnM are planning to work around it, and I'm sure that he's going to have a good support network to work with.
Okay, so this is interesting. MnM are basically going to set up for event and for event room take, trying to hold upstairs. They're going to try and play as if it's an armory. You can see them reinforce triple wall and playing in towards the fountain. They've also reinforced that double wall. And they are basically going to try and delay as much time as they can. They have that classic castle barricade that blocks off that main stairs and that main corridor, so someone just can't just walk straight in, cut off across. It means that they have to use utility. And of course, whenever you hear that castle barricade being opened, you know someone's going to be watching for you. So they will be playing Clash as more of a supportive role upstairs, trying to support Doki and Saves. And I like the way that they've left him on his own, because there's no real way that Secret are going to be able to kill Kendra in that scenario. If they want to try and push through one door, it's going to be a bottleneck. Doki can easily rotate over. They've left that double wall soft. However, he has decided to drop down because they have heard some Thermites being opened up over towards that double detention wall. So he will try and, I believe, scout out some information to see how many is actually knocking at the front door.
Saves with an opening kill onto Leon. That is going to be pretty big, as Sledge would be perfect to deal with all those castle barricades in a nice and efficient manner. A nice kill there. I love how Kendry dropped the hatch fairly early on. As soon as MnM identified that there was going to be no push upstairs and that Secret were just going to try and focus on the site, playing with all the hatches open and the castle barricades upstairs, they feel very comfortable in leaving those hatches open and being able to drop down to work for their team. Meepy finding the head onto Citizen. The angle and the balustrade there just not working in Citizen's favour. It is going to equal out the man count for the time being. Saves is also taking a heck of a lot of damage. I think that could be from a Capital asphyxiating bolt. Shotgun comes through from Nello, but it is not going to be effective as Lems manages to grab that one. 3 versus 4 now. All of a sudden, it's looking pretty good for Team Secret.
Saves on about 25 HP. Could look to go aggressive and try and find someone from Secret, and that would be a big impact kill if he gets it. More than likely, he would be refragged, though. As he may go for it, he sees one, and he will find 2 of them inside the corridor. Only gets it down, however, so there is potential for Lems to be picked up by Meepy or Stiz. However, Kendry's on the hunt. They know one is going to be downed, and he could try and finish him off, but he gets killed himself. He tries to take the risky play, and it's down to Doki, a 1 versus 3. We will see the pickup maybe try and get initiated, as Doki will find one onto Stiz. A 1 versus 2. As Meepy could still go for the pickup, but he looks like he's going to hunt for the kill. So it is initially a 1 versus 1. A tag comes in as the pickup will be initiated. Could Doki catch them by surprise? He finds the IQ. All he's to find one more, but the Claymore out of nowhere sends them back right in the middle. Classic Doki.
I think Doki's going to be a little bit upset with that one. He'd done the hard work in that situation, and just so unfortunate. I'm not sure about Kendry pushing out. I don't know if he was trying to finish off the down player with the stun effect of the shield. I think that's probably what he was going for in that scenario. If he'd have been able to finish off the down player and then lost his life, it could have been worth it at that moment in time. As it stands, to push out and just to lose his life, he'd probably be better off just blocking the door, allowing Doki to rotate down and just hold an angle over onto ventilation. So a little bit of a an unfortunate circumstance there for MnM as the kills did trade out, but Lems, Claymore's winning the round.
Quite a weird one, just right in the middle of the corridor. That would never work, but Doki was so focused on the 2 kills, the pings came in. The last thing he was looking at was what was below him, what he was walking on in that scenario. Anywho, we move on to our next bomb site, which is once again going to be events. We have not seen a third bomb site as of yet from either side.
And that's just been to the way that, how Border's been playing out today. It has been playing out a little bit in the attacker's favour. We've not had 2 defensive rounds chained together as a win just as of yet. So if it keeps going as it's going, I don't think we are going to see a Bathroom Tellers or a Customs. As we've said, it is very difficult to defend those objectives. But that's not to say that MnM won't be trying to chain another 2 rounds together and get themselves this first map in the bag.
We'll see Citizen on his trusty Pulse and Kendry on the Valkyrie. So they're going to be bringing double soft destruction from below with a Nitro Cell. This is a common MnM strategy. This is nothing new. I want to see Citizen possibly try and go for that early pick inside of security. Secret, they like to take control of security, then they push in and try and take control of upstairs. That's the bog standard. That's how you try and push in. Meepy will enter, and could we see Citizen try and get the better off him? But if Meepy pulls out the IQ scanner, then that will give him enough intel to see that pulse, and I think he might have glanced at him and has decided to scurry on out off the doorway.
Citizen is well placed to get a kill here. You can see
he's
going to come through, and he is going to find Citizen's head, showing us just the power of that IQ scanner. And I mean, Citizen, not to know that it was going to be IQ that was going to be challenging onto him and just not able to get away from those shots that are coming through. So losing a C4 this early on within the round isn't going to do MnM any favours at all. And it does allow Meepy to continue searching out for any cameras. Kendry going to come through with a C4 of his own onto Stiz. Nothing else hard going to be getting open this round, as that is going to be Thermite, no longer a factor. Leon Gids finding the end of Nello's shotgun, as well as Nello is aggressively playing the hatch on into small office.
The Stiz kill, not much of an important one for Secret. He opened up the hatch, that's all he needed to do. The Leon one, though, that may come in pretty big, because that's just off destruction. That's the guy who tries to make these angles that makes the defenders uncomfortable. However, the retrade comes in, so Doki saves, and Kendry will have to live out these remaining 1 minute and 20 seconds. Kendry no C4, as we know he's already thrown that and got himself a kill onto the Thermite. Doki as well, aggressive inside of central stairs. It's a great position for Doki, because 1, he can try and challenge on towards main stairs, which he's starting to do. And also, he can try and go for an aggressive run out outside of the double door. There's options here for MnM. The plant will start to be defused. Those capillary bolts will stop it. Kendry tries to go for it. Doki support him with the impact nade. He will find 1 kill for his troubles, but the diffuser has been planted. Alem's holding the long angle, will cover the planter. Saves, knows that there's going to be one beside him. No, he doesn't, as Meepy gets the better of that engagement. And well, Team Secret, a bit of momentum behind them.
Secret really showing us now why they are a top-level team and why they are a Pro League team. They're able to compose themselves and adapt on the fly mid-round, and that's really what's been able to make the difference for them to be able to start picking up a few of these rounds on attack. The scoreline now is shrinking for MnM, and they're only one round away from being even Stevens at 5-4. I think MnM are going to have to look to start to, maybe go into their previous form, the form that we saw them on attack with. They were getting nice early picks. As you commented on, it would have been really good for MnM if Citizen had got that early pick over onto anybody that had been coming into CCTV, anybody other than an IQ, and I think he possibly gets that kill. But the operator lineups are being countered very well indeed, and Secret obviously know that Citizen is a proficient Pulse player and a proficient Valkyrie player, so why not bring the IQ and be able to deny that information?
Just seems to be whoever gets that first blood has such an advantage going into that latter half of the round. This is something that is common for a lot of teams, that if you lose that first man, you completely flop, you struggle, you don't know what you're doing. You can say the same about MnM, just like we said about Secret. But the standout difference, I think, for Team Secret on their attacks is even if they lose first blood, they can still manage to rally behind themselves, and that kind of separates the good from the bad.
Yeah, I'd agree. It all comes down to the flexibility on the team and who's able to pick up slack where it's needed. If you've got a very, solid idea of how you want to attack on something or how you want to defend on something, and you lose a key element of that. For example, if you're in this scenario and you lost the Thatcher, so say that Team Secret are going to lose the Thatcher, they've got a plan and they know how they're going to deal with the thing that they were going to use the Thatcher on, and they're going to be able to use the IQ instead, they're going to be able to use the Capitao instead, and that's going to allow them the flexibility to push the Bandit off from tricking. It's going to allow them to be able to find the electronics with the IQ. And it's all about that adaptation and being so flexible, and Team Secret are really showing us that despite losing first blood a couple of times, they're able to come through that and they're still able to come out and execute in the way that they'd intended.
Secret will enter in through that west balcony. They are more than likely looking to enter in towards that security, and well, maybe. I like the idea that they're sending Meatby as the IQ in first, because like we seen last time, he can check for the pulse. They know that Citizen is a big fan, and they are specifically trying to counter him just like they did previously. This time, Citizen for an Armory, he is the bandit. He was the one who goes for the tricks of no C4 shenanigans from him this time around. And Kendra decided to drop the Valkyrie entirely in favor for the Echo. Doesn't work out, as of course we know IQ is there, and Meatby has already found one of them inside of the corridor.
Yeah, and losing the yokai drones isn't any good. I think as MnM, you've got to identify that Meepy's playing the IQ fairly regularly, and you might want to think, don't need to bring the Echo, because it is just going to get found out. And it is going to be a very difficult job to try and keep that away from somebody like Meepy, as he is searching and being allowed to search quite heavily for these yokai drones. Saves currently playing Office Double Door, just peeking on out into CCTV corridor, and he's no doubt going to be rewarded with a kill for his troubles. He is going to find Stiz as the Thermite. So the armory wall being opened, I'm not sure if Stiz was maybe looking to rotate through and try and open Office, but he wasn't really working off any information because he ran head on into Saves' bullets there. Saves is getting a little bit of pressure from elsewhere. Meanwhile, Citizen will find a kill of his own onto Leon. Saves dancing the dance with Plebma. Not going to overexpose himself. He's probably about 5 hit points. Saves has got information as to where Plebma is. Doesn't choose to push out as the yokai drone has its effect. He might be rewarded with a double kill here if he can land his shots, but no, it's going to be a Lems that does manage to find that one onto Saves. Couple more hit points there are going to do a Lems all the favors he needs in that situation. Nice placement of a bulletproof camera there as well, as the push now is going to be diverted despite Armory being open. Full push going to come through now for Team Secret from Office.
That's very intriguing that Secret have abandoned their first option, which is going to be that Armory wall, and instead have completely rotated it and went for a split push. However, Lems has managed to find a fireball, and onto the marshmallow he burns. However, Kendra finds a double kill. It's all down to Meatby instead of a 1 versus 3. He was the metal detector. Kendra finds a triple. Team Secret, I really do question what you were thinking that round.
I agree with diverting the push, and I think that had Stiz not died on the Thermite, it could have been really advantageous to take over Office control and to get that wall open, but don't leave Armory Wall unchecked and unchallenged. Keep some pressure at Armory Wall. And it takes a really good team to be able to use the Thermite to be able to open up 2 different areas that are on the other side of the map. It is possible, and it can be very effective when pushing in, but you can't just ignore the progress that you've already made over in Armory.
It's not even that. Like, this is common. We've seen teams where they open up Armory Wall, then they rotate. It's the fact that they didn't do it sufficiently.
There was no information.
There was no information gathered. Automatically, if you look at the triple wall being reinforced, you're expecting someone to play in towards those photocopiers. That's a common position on that little half wall area. Stiz, instead of trying to challenge, should just rotate it and open up triple wall and office. They should have that intel to know, hold on a minute, MnM open up a crouch hole in towards office. That should be known straight away. That should give them that upper edge. That should give them the advantage. Sloppiness from Secret.
And it's sloppiness like that that MnM are more than capable of taking advantage of. They've now got themselves onto match point. They are only 1 round away. So far, we've seen them struggle with ventilation. It did come down to a little bit of misfortune, I guess, last round or a couple of rounds ago when it was come down to a downed player that Doki was unable to finish off. So the rounds have been close down there, and MnM are more than capable of winning in this bomb site. But they're going to have to do the hard work, as Secret have been ramping things up, and they aren't going to just give it to them on a plate. Seeing Leon now move more and more onto the sledge. We did see him on the Ash in the early couple of rounds for Secret's attacking phase, but he didn't seem to have all too much success with that. And now opting for the sledge, it is a good pick, especially when attacking over onto events. But with the way that MnM held this objective last time, they did bring the clash, and they were able to, you know, drop down into sight with the use of the castle barricades, as they are playing with the hatches open when the push came through. Now, are Secret going to try and take that top floor control, or are they just going to try and establish themselves on the ground floor? Leon Gids is already making great progress through Passport, and he is now in main lobby. Detention wall will be opened as well. Leon now going to make his way up east stairs, and he's no doubt going to come to blows with Saves at some point. Saves playing the same angle he played last round, just looking over on into CCTV corridor, and Leon just trained on the 90 corridor corner as he's waiting for any of the MnM players to make that rotation. But it's going to be a Lems that opens things up with a kill onto Nello. So Smoke losing his life very early on in the round. Kendra will trade it straight back, but that's going to be a big loss of utility for MnM.
Also looking at Secret, Capitão's gone. That's another big, crucial pinnacle point for Secret. If you look at how they played out their last ventilation attack, they could not have succeeded without those Capitão bots smoking off that cross and also smoking, or not smoking, the fire arrow onto that rotation hole. There's a lot of advantages taking the Capitão in that scenario. Save still upstairs, and he may be pressured on quite soon. As yes, he will. Leon Gibbs will take advantage of his back being turned, and well, it's a 3 versus 3. There's options here because Leon's still alive. He has that sledgehammer. He can start going to work on this wooden flooring and trying to find someone or anything he can, just force them away. So the options here for Team Secret is you have Leon open up upstairs, he cuts off the rotation at B, and then it's a simple cover and plant jumping in through the B window. That should be easy enough. Leon just barely misses the shots onto the defender. He was lurking, however, that will push his crosshairs over towards him, meet B, and Kendrew will fall.
Kendrew getting rooted out of position there through some good vertical pressure. Doki's going to reply with one of his own onto Leon, and Citizen following it up as well. The plant will continue to go down as Stiz is going to stick it, and it is now going to be a 2 versus 1 retake. Doki and Citizen are now going to have to try and find this kill and get the defuse off. Not sure if there's any claymores out there, Citizen. You need to be careful if there are. Doki is going to try and stick the defuse. Citizen in a brilliant position to watch that push as it comes through, and MnM are going to take map number 1.
The old bait and switch works well for MnM as they take the first map. Maybe a little bit troublesome near that latter half of the series, but still, they took it nonetheless. It was expected. The analysts, they said, yeah, we're kind of expecting this border match to go in favor of MnM. So that leaves us then for our next map, Bank, and that is... It's going to be more, I think, favoured towards Secret. I think they have much more room potential and their team chemistry, and maybe if they have Meepy back and Ash doing what he did last time, then there shouldn't be any issues.
There shouldn't be any issues, but this is Siege, and you never really know what is going to happen. We saw MnM play a very good Bank earlier on in the day, and I think that they're going to be bringing that out again in this next matchup. Secret, they've played Bank as well, so this is a map that we're going to be seeing a couple of times over the course of the day. But I'm not sure that a double hard breach plan is going to make it through this time, so I've got a feeling that we're going to see a different Bank at least to the previous 2 times.
I would only like to think we would have that, because there is some moments where I think having that double hard breach basically forces you to throw your strat book out the window. Maybe that would suit Vexed quite well, but we did not see it in the long run, so that will be us done for the meantime. Let's throw back over to Harry and the rest of the desk.
Thank you very much, Demo. And well, MnM Gaming taking their first map in the series. And Jess, you got a little smug smile on your face. I know what you're thinking. You did say it is a possibility that MnM could take it, and they did.
Look, I'm not surprised at all. I said this from the beginning. This is going to be their map. I was actually quite confident about it, and for them to pull out a really strong lead very early was a little bit shocking. I didn't think they'd take that as wildly as they did, but that map's theirs, and I think the last map could be theirs as well, but I think coming into Bank, that's a team secret map.
And what's your opinions on that, Tim?
Yeah, I'd agree with that with Jess there. I think the MnM attack was very strong coming out, but I think Secret didn't allow them that, but they didn't hassle the flanks at any point. They didn't try to disrupt what MnM were doing. There wasn't a massive roam presence. If you look to round 6 of the defense for Team Secret, they actually had a lot more success because Leon was out on the roam. I think it was a ventilation, and 3 of the kills came from Office. And when they had that roam presence and they stopped MnM going into the areas they wanted to operate from, they actually did very well. But I just think they failed to do that throughout the rest of their defensive phase, and ultimately it cost them dearly, and it just left them too much to do.
Yeah, MnM really came out the gate strong, and to be expected, like you mentioned before. And what flaws did you see in Secret where you could clearly tell there was some improvements needed in some of those rounds?
Look, honestly, I think a massive weakness with Team Secret is that they are an attacker-sided team, and it's hard to be an attacker-sided team because generally you are expected to win your defensive-sidedness on almost every single map. So I really was surprised to see them sort of hold that trend of being attacker-sided on every single map they've played thus far today. So I think going into Bank, they need to be a little bit more confident, but we'll see how they go with that one.
Yeah, I think one of the things I noticed for Secret was uncharacteristically for them, there was quite a few missed shots, quite a few lost gunfights because they weren't hitting the shots. There was a couple of opportunities that they had inside Armory, I know, where they just didn't land the shots. And really, I mean, how can you lose Armory so many times? If you're going to lose Armory 4 times on defense, you're going to struggle on border.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting one, but going into this next map now, you said it before, Secret with Bank, very strong map for them. MnM may struggle just that little bit more, but what do MnM need to do now to try and get this series into a 2-0?
I think they need to be confident with how they're playing thus far. On defense, they're struggling with the strengths of Team Secret and how they do their attacks. It doesn't matter which map it is. It seems Team Secret are very flawless in the way that they try and conduct those. What they need to do is not peek so much. I'd like to see a little bit less peek, but we'll see how they go with that one.
I think for MnM to get this second map locked out, one thing they're going to have to do is close down the roam game. I think Secret know that they have a strength there with the Lems and Leon out on the roam. If they play them like that, like I say, they chose not to. Border isn't as heavy on the roam, so it's not too much of a surprise. But Bank, they are going to have to utilise those staircases. They're going to have to hassle MnM. They cannot let MnM have that amount of time on attack again to set up their execution and do what they want to do, because Doki and Citizen had a field day for the first half of the attack there because they just weren't being hassled
They
at
were
all.
just having a laugh, really, weren't they?
Yeah.
Those first 5 rounds, it was phenomenal. It was actually, at some stage, I was worried it was going to be like a 7-1, 7-2 at that point because they were just that strong. But good thing about Secret, as you do, you're the Pro League team, they reset their mentality, managed to go through from there. But then again, you know, it was still a hard-fought fight throughout the entire process. But in the end, you know, with Bank going to this next map, more Secret's comfort zone, you could say. But I'd like to see how MnM actually play out during that second map.